Good morning. Today is Wednesday. It is March 6th, 2K13. And this is WGTV Today. Thank you for being with us. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Good morning and thank you for joining us. We've got a full show today.
That we do. Who's coming in today?
We have got Miss Selena Bennett, who is the Director of Communities in Schools. We also have TASHA Logan, and she is on the board over there at Communities in Schools. She's actually the Vice Chair. They're here to talk about that program and what all it's done in our community.
You know, they had a thing at Bethel Church out on William Street here recently.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They had a big meeting and presentation over there where they basically just talked about the successes they've had over the past year and talked about what's going to happen in the near future for communities in schools.
And that was great. That enjoyed
it
that.
was. They had a great turnout. They'll tell you more details on that. And also, we have a tour of Mount Olive College. The county commissioners went out and toured Mount Olive College, and we've got a great presentation for you to see on Mount Olive College.
We're going to see that tour. Dr. Kerstetter took us around along with Dr.
Blackwell?
Dr. John Blackwell, exactly, and several others as well, with commissioners, all a part of that. The Mount Olive mayor was there with us.
Oh, Mr. Ray McDonald.
Ray McDonald, as well as the town manager, Mr. Charles Brown. And those four gentlemen did a marvelous job taking us around and giving us a tour of Mount Olive College.
Great.
And it was a great tour. I enjoyed it. The weather was perfect.
Good. Well, stay tuned. You'll see all of that coming up soon.
That's exactly right. All right.
Let's see. If you didn't know, like I didn't, the Neuse River has a river keeper. The river keeper is Matthew Starr.
Where does he keep it?
I don't know. Let's find out more about it. On Thursday, March the 21st, between 1 and 2 p.m. at no charge to anyone at Wayne Memorial Hospital in Dining Room Number 1, Mr. Matthew Starr will be speaking on the purpose and the goals of a river keeper. He'll be showing pictures of the Neuse and talking about all the assets that the Neuse River provides our community. So if you're interested in attending or would like to find out more information and have questions, call Becky Craig at Wayne Memorial Hospital at 731-6142. That's Thursday, March the 21st from 1 until 2 p.m.
And
yes,
again, Junior Livestock Show and Sale. And I keep mentioning this because it is a really big event for several reasons. Number one, it's big for agriculture here in Wayne County. Number two, it's big for the youth of Wayne County because it's a youth event for ages 5 to 18. Number three, it's big it's big for several reasons.
All right, well,
that's only two. That's only two, but it's coming up April 3rd and 4th. It's a big event, and youngsters, youth here in Wayne County, they learn so much from this. They end up with a sense of responsibility.
Oh goodness, yes.
A sense of.
Well, they participate for so long.
Indeed, they're in it for years, and it's just a great program.
It is. Well, if you're planning to buy an Easter basket, think about supporting the Mayor's Youth Council here in the city of Goldsboro.
There you go.
Every year, their annual scholarship fundraiser is to make Easter baskets. They have pre-made baskets at a cost of $10, $15, $20, or $30, or they'll make a custom basket for you for $50 and up. If you're interested in seeing some of these baskets, you can come right over to City Hall. They're already there on display for all the different prices, and that's the cash and carry kind, or you can call 580-4359 and have them custom make you an Easter basket. They would love to do it, and you'll be helping out the scholarship fund for the Mayor's Youth Council. All
right, the Mount Olive Comprehensive Transportation Plan available for public viewing right now. Now through March 20th, you can go by the Wayne County Planning Department. That's at 134 North John Street. It's in the old Jeffries building there on the second floor of the County Planning Department, and view the Comprehensive Transportation Plan for Mount Olive now through March 20th. And I have a trivia question, but I'm going to give you some interesting information. I thought that it's a bit of trivial information.
Okay.
Right now, everybody's heard of Susan B. Anthony.
Yes, we have.
I mean, she had $1 and all that.
Did she?
Yes, she did. But the story of Susan B. Anthony goes way back, and it was, I can't find it here, but here's what happened. Susan B. Anthony she voted.
She voted?
She voted, and she wasn't supposed to because she was a woman. Right. In the late 1800s, women couldn't vote. They couldn't vote until 1920. So she voted anyway because she says, I'm entitled. I'm an American citizen. I should be able to vote. So she did, and they arrested her, and they fined her $100. $100. She never paid it, and we punished her by putting her face on $1 later years.
How about that?
But that's beside the point. But the question is, do you know for whom she voted? She voted in a presidential election.
Okay. What year was this?
This was 1872, I believe.
Let's see who remembers that or knows that piece of trivia.
No, that's not today's trivia question.
Oh,
this
it's
is
not?
just something I'm just throwing out.
Wayne's just throwing that out there to see if you know.
This is a freebie, okay? All right. The answer is
yes.
Ulysses S. Grant. She voted for Grant and was arrested because of that.
Wow.
Yeah. Fined $100, never paid it. By the way, his first name was not Ulysses.
What was it?
Hiram.
Really?
Yeah.
Hiram Grant.
Hiram Ulysses Grant. The S,
okay.
You know, they don't know where that came from, but his marketing people said, you know, it would be really neat if you were U.S. Grant.
How interesting.
And that helped him out.
This man is full of trivia.
I am full of it.
Full of trivia.
All
well,
right.
if you like barbecue and
I do.
You'd like to help out the Salvation Army, they'd love to see you on Thursday, March the 21st. So mark your calendars, because between 11 and 2 p.m. for a cost of $8, you too can have a plate of barbecue. You can have potato salad, slaw, hush puppies, and a dessert, all to fund and help the Salvation Army. This is their fundraiser. The Salvation Army is located at 610 North William Street right here in Goldsboro. You can drive through, pick up a plate, walk in and take it out, or they'll deliver. If you want to reach somebody with the Salvation Army, you can call Mary Lou Jones at 919-221-6101. But that's Thursday, March the 21st, and they'd love to see you there.
Love barbecue.
Me too.
Okay, the Civil Air Patrol Goldsboro Composite Squadron will have their open house coming up March 23rd. It's free, doesn't cost anything, and it's free too. Starts at 10 a.m., goes till 1 p.m. This will be taking place at the Wayne Executive Jetport. It is for anyone and everyone, from youngsters to oldsters, from 12 to 18. 12 to 18, you could become part of the cadet program. If you're 18 and older, well, then you could become part of the Civil Air Patrol. Details are available by attending this event beginning March 23rd, 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. It's free of charge. Just go and have a good time and learn all about it. It is a fantastic program. However, if you have a question or three, call Captain George Wolf. Captain Wolf's number is 919-252-7220. 919-252-7220.
This is a great opportunity because there's so many young children that are interested in aviation. I know through the years I've heard with my son when he was younger, so many little boys say they want to grow up to be a pilot. I want to grow up to work on an airplane or be around airplanes. Did you?
I knew Orville and Wilbur.
Did you?
Yeah, they're friends of mine.
But this is a great opportunity to be able to ask questions, see an airplane firsthand, find out what they're all about. So take advantage of this if you're interested, or if you just like to expose one of your children to this. And
Civil Air Patrol is such an important organization. They are at the forefront of search and rescue. Anytime there's someone lost or there's someone in a dangerous situation, Civil Air Patrol assists other agencies in search and rescue. So they play an important part of our lives around the country and around the world for that matter, but especially here in Wayne County.
Great opportunities right here in our community. But Wayne, let's go now and hear what Communities in Schools has to tell us. That's Selena Bennett and Tasha Logan up next. Good morning. Joining me today is Selena Bennett. She is the Community in Schools President and Executive Director, and also Tasha Logan, who is the Vice Chair for the Board of Communities in School. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Hi, Kim.
So today we have so much information to hear about Communities in Schools, but for those who don't necessarily know exactly what Communities in Schools is and what they stand for and the purpose, would you fill us in, Selena?
Yes. Communities in Schools is a nonprofit organization here in Wayne County that has actually been in existence here for about 20 years. And Tasha is a former employee of Communities in Schools from some years back.
From way back, huh?
Imagine how things turn. Yes. You start off as an employee, then you come back as part of the board.
That's right. She is our board vice chair this year. And we have had just a tremendous year. We are promoting at-risk children and the need to wrap resources around them so that they are more successful in school.
Well, tell me how you've done that.
This year, we have placed not only graduation coaches at the high school level. I think the community is familiar with the graduation coach staff that we have had at Goldsboro High School in Southern Wayne for several years, but we were able to expand to the middle school level. And so this year, we have coaches in 4 middle schools and in 2 high schools. So that has enabled us to reach many, many more students who otherwise might be at risk for dropping out, for failure academically. It could be a number of things, but that's what we do, is to wrap support services around students in schools.
I think that what's important about wrapping those services around students is that we can make the investment up front in our students,
Right.
or we're going to have to invest on the back end when students start to get into trouble or as they're starting to engage in some of those risky behaviors. So for us, it makes sense to invest those dollars up front on our students instead of waiting until it's too late. And I think that, you know, when you think about the fact that you have over 7,000 students that may drop out of school on a national level.
Every day.
Every day. I mean,
7,000 every day.
7,000 every day.
Across the nation.
Across the nation. And when you look at the services that are provided right here by communities and schools, 99% of the students that we work with graduate. And that's
My
amazing.
goodness.
If you think about it. If they
So
have
what does that tell us right there?
you have to work with them.
You have to put the resources on the front end, like you said earlier.
exactly right.
What a difference that makes.
Exactly.
Now tell me some of the programs, Selena, that have been around for quite some time in our community that people may recognize.
I think the #1 program that people recognize is the Teen Court program, which Tasha was with from the very beginning.
I started that program in 2000. That was one of the first projects that I worked on when I moved to Goldsboro. Part of getting that project up and running, getting the student volunteers trained and ready to go. But the thing that made that project work is the fact that the community was willing to step in. Anytime you made a phone call to the Goldsboro community, they were ready to step up, whether it was the judges, whether it was the courthouse to use the facility, the schools to help with training. You could pick up a phone call, and although it was something that was new, how can we make this work?
Right, and I brag on our community all the time about being so collaborative.
And that's exactly what made this successful.
And I think what is really neat about this is the fact that Tasha, having seen this as a staff member working with Teen Court, and now her expertise, the experience that she brings to the table as a board member, because we're really working hard to not only expand our program, but we want Teen Court to continue to expand as well.
Right, right.
And we do have a new partnership in the community called Teens and Attorneys Partnering for Success, which has been a direct outgrowth of the Teen Court program.
Oh, absolutely.
And we have a team at every high school here in Wayne County. We've got 13 attorneys that met with us a few Saturdays ago at the courthouse, and they worked with students all afternoon to prepare them for mock trials that we'll be having in the spring. So that's just one example, you know, as Tasha said, of how these resources from the community wrap around these students. That's an extension of one of our programs that we're just so excited about.
Well, tell me what the purpose of that particular program is, the purpose of the partnering with the attorneys. What do they learn from that?
Well, the purpose of that program is we have a number of students who are interested in law. Maybe they want to be an attorney. Maybe they want to be in law enforcement. So we have students that want more of an idea of how the legal system works. Now, our Teen Court program is a great volunteer opportunity for students who want to find out a little bit about being an attorney or sitting in on the jury, but this partnership enables them to work one-on-one with attorneys to
Much
get
more hands-on.
It is much more hands-on. That's
Talk
correct.
about having the opportunity to experience a profession before you
Like
make
a job
that
shadowing type
exactly,
thing.
before you make that commitment of this is what I want to do. But these students have an opportunity to work with an attorney firsthand. So, okay, what is it really like? And very similar with the partnership that we have with the fire department for our academy.
Exactly.
You know, Selena will talk some about that, but we're exposing students to options. We're
At an early
at an
age.
early age, career options
right.
that are
That
right
they may
here,
never see.
right here in Goldsboro, so they don't have to leave home. They can
That
come
is
back to Wayne County.
wonderful.
That's
That is
exactly right.
wonderful. Well, tell me more about this program she mentioned, the Fire Academy.
Well, the Fire Academy is something that actually the groundwork was started about 3 years ago when some of the shifts of firemen were going into Goldsboro High School simply to mentor students. And as an outgrowth of that, Lisa Johnson, who is the assistant fire chief, is
Right.
she is just unbelievable. And she wanted to bring a fire academy program to Goldsboro High School. So we currently have students that have worked with the fire department that are now taking classes with certified firefighter instructors that are coming onto Goldsboro's campus from Wayne Community College. And of course, Wayne Community is another big partner. So once again, you have Wayne Community, you have Wayne County Public Schools, and you have the Goldsboro Fire Department all working together to give students exposure to something that they can continue their education right at Wayne Community College, get their level 1 firefighter certification, and they can have a marketable skill so that they can get a job.
And you know, even if a child decides not to go that route, think about the skills they learn while being exposed to that.
Exactly right.
You know, from teamwork to dedication, and the list goes on and on, what they're being exposed to by being a part of this program.
And if they decide that it's not the career option that they're interested in, they certainly, they've done nothing but gain a great experience.
And build their resume.
And build their resume and learn about teamwork.
Exactly. Well, you had an event recently.
Yes, we
Tell
did.
me about this event. I know it's a showcasing of the successes of the past year for communities in schools. So tell us more about that, Selena.
What we did was hosted an event at Bethel Church this past Friday, and it was called Have a Heart for Kids. We hosted it as a coffee hour with a light breakfast to go along with it. And it was an opportunity for us to invite all of our community partners, individuals from the community, the Wayne County Public School System. We had some of our elected officials there from both the state and the county level. And we had really 3 goals in mind. We wanted to celebrate our successes from this past year because it has truly been a tremendous year as far as expansion goes.
Right.
Secondly, we wanted to just educate the community because our community needs to know more about our programming and what it is that we are trying to do. And then thirdly, it was an opportunity for us to talk to our community about funding and how we get our funding so that we can continue another year.
Well, Tasha, as a board vice chair, you were there and you helped organize this entire event. What do you see coming out of this event going in the future?
Well, you know, I have to be honest, and Tasha was not there organizing. Selena was the one that was there at 9 o'clock that night with folks from Bethel Church setting up for us, and I really appreciate that partnership. But for us, a lot of the partners that were there are people that provide funding to communities and schools. So for us, this was the opportunity for us to show what are we doing with those dollars? Why is it so important that we make the investment on the front end for our students? And also to show how we intend to keep these programs going moving forward and the growth that we expect to see. You know, new students are constantly coming into our system.
That's right.
As things change, there are new risk factors that we're going to have to deal with and new challenges. And one thing that's important is that there's not a cookie cutter model that we have in our schools.
That's true.
With our graduation coaches at the high school level and also at the middle school level, we tailor those to what the needs are in that school and that community. And I think that is what sets our program apart. We realize that our teachers are there. They are working so hard to educate our children, but some assistance is needed. They can't meet every need that kids have coming into school every day.
And every child is different.
So where we step in is we are not telling them what needs to happen, but we're asking how can we be of service. So for those members that were there, our partners that were there that support communities and schools, this was a chance for us to say, how can we help you? This is what it's going to take for us to continue what we're doing, and how can we strengthen those partnerships moving forward? We want to make sure that communities and schools is here 20 years later.
Right. Wow. Well, it sounds like you all have had a fabulous year, and I see some exciting things in front of me here. Would you like to explain what we have?
Yes. We, for the first time ever, sponsored a contest with some of the CIS kids that we're working with at the schools where we have coaches. So this means we have some artwork from 6 different schools. And we have greeting cards that are just absolutely fantastic.
Yes, they are.
It has the artwork on the front of the card, and on the back it has the Communities and Schools logo with the mission. And the mission, of course, is to surround students with a community of support, empowering them to stay in school and achieve in life. And hopefully, we are going to be able to continue to sell greeting cards and bookmarks. They're available at the Communities and Schools office.
Which is located where?
It's at the 308 North William Street. We're upstairs at the Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce staff, great partner there too. But this was just an opportunity for us to showcase something that students have done.
Right.
Kids were excited about it, and on the back of the card we just have designed by and the first name of the child.
Okay.
We don't want to identify the child,
right,
but just by first name only. You know, just a great opportunity to do something that involves the work of our kids.
Exactly.
And $10 for a donation for a pack of 6 cards, and then the bookmarks we are asking for a $1 donation.
And this is a way for us to have our kids involved in helping to support the agency that supports them.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, when you're out and you want to pick up some note cards just to write little thank you notes or checking in with friends.
Think of communities in schools.
Because we have that for you, and the students have, it's their work.
And Kim, I also want to say, for the event that we had on Friday, we had so many sponsors. It was just phenomenal.
You did have a good turnout.
We had a great turnout in spite of the dreary weather, the sleet that was anticipated. We had a snowman theme, and even offered the snowmen at the end of the event for a donation. And I do believe Tasha
got the
snowman.
Oh, yes, she did. Oh,
and
good.
she is sitting in my office so that I can rub it in every time she walks by.
Tasha got a prima donna
yes, she did.
snow woman at that event. But Starbucks was a major sponsor for us, as well as we had Bojangles, we had Pizza Inn, RSVP Wages, Sleep In here in Mount Olive, the North Carolina Federal Credit Union, Goldsboro Kiwanis, Mount Olive Pickle, Buddy's Jewelry, and Brewers Insurance from Mount Olive. And then we had door prizes.
Yes, you
we
did.
also had in-kind contributions. The list just goes on, which shows you we have a community that is vested in doing something for our children in Wayne County Public Schools.
That's exactly right.
And between the partnership that we have with Wayne County Public Schools and the business partnerships that we have in the community, we know that we can do good things for our kids.
And that's what we're looking forward to, continuing to see this program grow and move forward and make a difference in children's lives right here in our community, so they can, you know, grow up to be productive citizens wherever they end up.
With marketable skills.
Exactly, and that's the key. Well, thank you, ladies, for being with us and sharing more about what Communities in Schools has done, not just this past year, but over the past 20-some years. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We hope you've learned more about Communities in Schools. And we're back on Wayne Goldsboro Television.
We are back. Thank you very much.
I hope you learned a lot about Communities in Schools and what they do right here locally, and how they're helping improve all of our schools.
You know, Sudie Davis did a wonderful
Yes,
job
she
with
did,
that.
for years.
And then she retired, and now Selena Bennett has picked up the ball, and she is running to the goalpost. And
Yes, she is. She's got a great board. They're very active.
They are.
They all attended recently when she did have the event right here in Goldsboro at Bethel Church. What a nice event it was to showcase Communities in Schools, their history, and what they plan to do for the youth in our community in the future.
All right. Well, yesterday you started.
Yes, talking about
Food.
super healthy foods.
Super healthy foods. And we continue. Here's a couple of items for you. Would you believe milk? Not just milk, fat-free milk.
Yes.
You know, there's whole milk, and then there's 2%, and then there's 1%, and then there's
fat-free.
no percent. Fat-free. It does do a body good, milk does. Studies show that calcium is not just a bone booster, but it's also a fat fighter. Calcium is. Recent research from the University of Tennessee found that obese people who went on a low-calorie, calcium-rich diet lost 70% more weight than those who ate the least. Again, they found that obese people who went on a low-calorie, calcium-rich diet lost 70% more weight than those who ate the least.
Wow.
Vitamin D not only allows your body to absorb calcium, it's also a super nutrient in its own right. Research shows that adequate vitamin D levels can reduce heart disease risk, can ward off certain types of cancer, can relieve back pain, even help prevent depression, but most of us don't get nearly enough of the 100 plus IU daily. that most experts recommend. 1,000 plus IU. Now that's international units. If you look at the label, and I'm a label reader, I hope you are, most experts recommend at least 1,000 IUs daily of vitamin D.
Wow, good gracious.
A splash of milk in your morning coffee is just not enough to provide the calcium and vitamin D you need. Use milk instead of water to make your oatmeal. Have a glass of milk with breakfast, or stir some chocolate syrup into it for an after-dinner treat. But now we're not talking about just milk. We're talking about fat-free milk. Okay?
That's right.
And then there's your salmon. Recent studies, in
Love
fact, in
it.
the last couple of days, I love fish.
I do too.
The last couple of days, a new report says don't eat so much tuna. Now, tuna has been back and forth.
Yes.
They say
Through the
eat
years.
it, it's good for you. Don't eat it, it's bad for you. It's bad for you, they say, because of the mercury that's supposed to be in a lot of the tuna, but it's good for you because of the omega-3 fatty acids. But better for you is salmon.
Love salmon.
Salmon is a rich source of vitamin D, one of the best sources of omega-3s you can find. These essential fatty acids have a wide range of impressive health benefits, from preventing heart disease to smoothing your skin and adding weight loss to boosting your mood and minimizing the effects of arthritis.
Oh, wow. You hurt
He's
me?
in there.
Okay.
Arthur's in there.
Is he in there?
Arthritis. Anyway, unfortunately, many Americans are not reaping these perks because we're deficient, which some experts believe may be at the root of many of the big health problems today, such as, of course, obesity, heart disease, and cancer. Omega-3s also slow the rate of digestion, which guidelines recommend consuming. No. Missing a page.
I can't help you there.
All right. Which blah, 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 blah. And furthermore, blah.
And we'll keep giving you additional little tidbits here and there on super healthy foods that we should be eating. All of us.
Here, a little bit there.
That's right.
Now, there you go.
One more reminder, save that date, April 12th and 13th, Pig in the Park will be taking place at Old Waynesboro Park here in Goldsboro. A big fun family day to spotlight Wayne County's history and its barbecue tradition. Pig cooking contests, food, vendors, music, activities for kids for the entire family. All proceeds to benefit the Boys and Girls Club here in Wayne County. Visit the webpage, piginthepark.com, to find out more, or you can call Goldsboro Boys and Girls Club at 735-2358. That's April 12th and 13th.
April 12th and 13th. Here's today's trivia question for today. Name the movie, the Broadway play, and the book
Goodness.
that got its name
Yes.
from a filing cabinet. On a filing cabinet. Picture a filing cabinet. Now, you know how it's all divided up, right?
Right.
All right. Divided up. On a filing cabinet, you will find something, on most, in fact, well, many filing cabinets, you'll find something that would give you the name of a famous book, a famous movie, a famous Broadway play.
All right, Wayne.
Think about
we'll
it.
think about that one.
Ponder that.
We will ponder. While we're pondering, let's move on and take a tour of Mount Olive College and see what Dr. Kerstetter has to tell us about his college.
Give out a gas? What? Out a gas? No. For a 5-minute tour. You know, this is a big quad area that we have. And so we have our alumni crosswalk, which is named in their honor. When our graduates go for commencement, they march down this way and they actually come through the gazebo. Thank you. I can sign it, I just can't say it. And then come into the Carnegie Arena for commencement activities. So one of the things we really are intrigued about when we came here is just how open this campus is. Yeah. So you've got the crosswalk where we'll go through the Carnegie Arena when we come back on this one. The Murphy Center, which we were in, is our main cafeteria, our student affairs offices, and our meeting rooms. This is one of the trolley stops on that one. This is Kemp Commons. It's named after Bill Kemp, who was a real supporter of the college and was a firm believer in landscaping. And so this is really honored in his honor. Over there is the full administration building. My office is in there, admissions, financial aid, the business office. Those operations are over there, as well as the bookstore. Looking across this way is Rogers Chapel. Rogers Chapel was the second building placed on campus. And we like to say, if you look at the 168 acres that are Mount Olive College, the chapel's really in just about the geographic center of those 168 acres, and it's there symbolically because faith is central to our mission and central to the campus. The building that we'll go right past over there is Henderson Hall. That was the original building on campus. And that really houses our humanities and the liberal arts programs over there. That's one of the buildings that we're going to renovate because over the years it's been cut into smaller pieces as we've tried to, provide more offices or classrooms. So part of our capital campaign will be to renovate that. It'll basically be gutting the inside of it, adding an elevator to it, but I want to keep the appearance of that building because I think it is, it's a neat looking building. But I think we can use the square footage inside now that we've thought through it, a little bit better than what we've done in the past.
What is your campaign goal?
What?
What is your
$20 million.
$20 million?
And we announced at the kickoff that we were at 15.8. So
any new structures or just upgrading the existing structures?
A little bit of both is the easiest answer on that one. We'll renovate Henderson Hall. We want to do an addition to Rogers Chapel and do an educational wing to it so that we really make it a living, learning faith center rather than a standalone chapel right now. We want to do some renovations of the original residence halls on campus over there. We want to build a track. You heard Jeff talk to, good news is we've got a championship team. The bad news is we don't have a track. I've been tempted to tell them, what should I expect if we give you a track? On top of that. But so most of the focus of the capital campaign is really to enhance what this campus is about. You go through transitions and you go through the original idea of a 2-year campus, then a 4-year campus, the idea of setting up these other locations to serve non-traditional students. And now we're kind of coming a little bit full circle in terms of making certain that our traditional enrollment really has the programs and facilities that it needs. And because our goal is to move from the 900 plus that you heard today to in excess of 1,100. That's really where our goal is.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Henderson Hall, as I had mentioned before, and as he said, I think it just has a real attractive features to it, so we'll renovate the inside of it. Putting in perspective, the small building right there, that houses our academic administration there. And if you look down the pathway, you can see the end of what used to be the old sleep-in motel. We could now call that the Inn at Mount Olive College. I think the real interesting aspect is, I said, our plans are to grow. For us to grow, we need to have additional housing. And so that's been a real godsend for us to be able, we have about 120 students that are living over in that building. And people had asked about the capital campaign earlier. Originally, we were looking at maybe building new residence halls. But because of being able to use this property over here, and then we acquired the property that was the old Mount Olive School apartments. We acquired that, and so this adds 120 beds. That'll add about 60 beds, and so for a more immediate goal of getting up to that 1,100, we think that we'll have enough residence hall space in order to provide that kind of growth. And what I like about it is we'll run the whole kit and caboodle from the traditional, 2 people in a room and you have a group, bathroom. That's the old style. Then we have this over here where it's 2 to a room, but every room has its own bathroom. And then if you get on the other side, the new apartments, and frankly the Mount Olive School apartments are all going to be suite arrangements that have their own kitchens, own bathrooms. And so what we're talking about doing is taking people through it's a transition where they're in that more structured, more protected environment. But then by the time they get up to their senior year, how have we prepared them to assume the responsibilities of being out on their own? And part of that is how are they making their budgets? How are they facing licenses for apartments. What should they know in order to do that? And I'm amazed at this day and age how many individuals don't have banks, how many don't know how to write checks. You know, it's not as high of a percentage on our campus as it is in the general population, but the statistics are really scary right now. So we want to make certain that our students are not graduating only with an academic background, but they're financially literate and other kinds of skill sets that are going to be important for them as citizens. The building here is the Maury Library. The building right there is the communications building. And this was the original building, then we added an addition on in the, I guess it was 2007, 2008 as part of the last campaign. Library is the library, although I'm going to say we are more and more holdings are electronic at this day and age, rather than the physical holdings. I mean, we still have a good number of periodicals and books, but what you find is that there are more holdings that you can get into electronically, which frankly are cheaper in the long run because we don't have to build the physical space for them. But the other thing is students are used to being online, and that means that they can sit in their residence hall or sit at home and tap into a card catalog and do their research that way. I would have given anything to have been able to do some of my papers in college that way. Yeah. But so it's been a nice resource for us. And the communication building does two things. The main floor is where our technology offices are, and we also have a computer lab in there that's for general student use. What we find is a lot of students have their own computers, and the whole campus is wireless, by the way. But a lot of students have their own computers, but a lot of times they don't. Right. And so we really need to give them access to, where they can do their assignments. So we have a major computer lab on the first floor. Second floor is where the Free Will Baptist collection is, the archives for the whole church. And so Gary Barefoot is our curator of that archives. And if you ever get a chance, you ought to come in and see that. It's really, really quite impressive, and it goes back as far as you can imagine on that one. He does a great job explaining the history. Okay, this is Raper Hall, named obviously in honor of Birkin and Rose Raper. This was one of 3 buildings that were built as part of the last campaign. This one, the communication building, and the Polk Wellness Center. This is a kind of a multi-purpose building in the sense that all of our science programs are here, all of our business programs are here, and the Agribusiness Center is also here as well. This addition or side of the building is the Southern Bank Auditorium, where we can seat about 375 people, and we use it for a lot of group meetings. Wayne Public School System always has their kickoff 3 or 4 day conference meeting down here. We really appreciate having them down here. The church uses these facilities pretty extensively, and we really want this to be a community resource, as well as all of our facilities here. As Dr. Caribou had said, our labs are really, really good. That it's very hard for smaller private colleges to have outstanding science labs. They're just expensive to set up and to maintain, and these are probably the best that I've ever seen in any college that I've worked at, including some much larger universities as well, by the way. So it means our students are getting the kind of education that Michael was talking about. Any questions? Okay, we're going to head on down this way then. Putting this perspective, we had talked about, the idea of moving the fine arts programs downtown. And one of the reasons is this facility over here, Laughing House, that's where our studio art is. This part of the building, which is called the Music Suite, is obviously for the music building area. And this is one of those things where music and art don't necessarily make great bedfellows, that as they're trying to concentrate on some intricate art process, and you've got somebody playing a tuba, no matter how well they're playing it, or heaven knows if it's the timpani or the bass drum, the boom, oh, so much for that stroke. So anyway, both of those are really upcoming programs, and we want to make sure that they have the facilities that they need. So this would be one of the reasons that honestly, even if we add to this building, it really doesn't do that separation. It really doesn't give them all the things that they're looking for. So we can use this for other purposes, but that's one of the reasons that this whole idea of moving downtown, you know, why we're using fine arts as opposed to some other areas. It makes sense for so many different reasons, and we think this would be a great partnership. So we're exploring that to see whether we can make that happen.
Where would be your access to downtown from where we're standing? Is it there?
No, actually, if you come down the street, Hunt, that picks up Henderson. Henderson pulls right around and crosses over at Brazil and dead ends on Center Street.
So this would be your thoroughfare into town and back out right through here.
And if my understanding is correct, and you and Ray can correct me on this one, once we get towards the edge of campus, it really opens up into a boulevard, and it was intended to be a boulevard access to the downtown. And we're talking about whether we put bike trails or other kinds of things, you know, a protected crossing over Brazil. And you know, we'll look at whether we need to have it, you know, augmented jitney service or you know, something else to get people back and forth. But we just think of this as a win situation all the way around, so that's why we want to see if we can make it happen.
Yeah, and you discussed this with the long-term transportation plan for this area, and the comprehensive land use plan that you've just done, both of those.
Yeah.
Great.
And that's why what we were trying to do, and that's why I was really excited about, you know, Mount Olive and the town of Mount Olive really, you know, getting into this thing from day one in terms of talking about if we were going to do this, you know, what pieces have to fall into place. And so I think, you know, I can't say enough about the town for its cooperation in terms of helping make this thing, you know, at least look like a reality. So we built this, and one of the things that Jeff was talking about in terms of this Division 2, it means that we really do a lot of sharing. And so, for example, soccer is a fall sport, lacrosse is a spring sport. And so we actually have 3 practice fields over here. This one over here, and 2 that we added over there at lacrosse. And so right now, the performance for lacrosse is over at the main performance field. In the fall, lacrosse won't use that, soccer will use that. And so what we're doing is shifting off. This locker room will be used predominantly by soccer players in the fall. It's used predominantly by lacrosse players in the spring. So it's just a way of maximizing our resources and not trying to duplicate everything. What we'll do is we'll come down to the stop sign here, which intersects with Henderson, which takes away from the old Sleep Inn all the way around campus, and then we'll cross over Brazil. And you'll just get a sense that we're really not that far away from the downtown area. It's certainly a walkable distance, certainly a lot of bikes. We have more bikes on campus this year than we've ever had, which is kind of neat. And there's a goodly number of cars as well, so I'm not terribly worried about people being able to get back and forth and go downtown when they want to. And it's a good walk. And there's nothing wrong with a good walk these days. Just for the record, these were the new lacrosse fields that we put in. They'll also be used by soccer for practice. We also own that property over there. So I mean, this whole field is really college property. But you can see as you wrap around, you can't quite see the traffic light down in Brazil, but that's the Piggly Wiggly, so we're actually remarkably close. Now, we thought we'd stop here for about a half an hour so everybody could go in and use the machines. But this is a really nice facility. If you do want to take a look at it, you're welcome to. We've got a room that's kind of a general purpose room here where we do Zumba and other kinds of dance workouts and things like that. Then we've got a large room that's full of every piece of equipment that you can imagine, the ellipticals, the treadmills, the universal gyms and things like that. We've got a training room in here. We've got locker rooms in here. We actually have a small basketball court in this building as well. And so this is probably one of the biggest used buildings that we have on campus. Again, a combination of people from the campus, but equally important, people from the community as well. Carnegie Arena, I guess this might have been the 3rd building on campus in the greater scheme of things. It used to be called College Hall, and then it was renamed in honor of George's parents. And so all of our contests, volleyball, basketball, are in here. Locker rooms are in there. We hold commencement and major events, including the North Carolina Symphony playing for middle school students in here. And it's been a real nice facility for us. It's one of the nicest gyms that we have within the Conference Carolinas area as well. Is there anything else that I can answer for you all?
Just thank you for all you're doing.
So we're so appreciative of you coming down here and taking time out of your schedule to be down here. And again, we want to be partners and we want to be good neighbors, and so we want to find out any way that we can help to improve the overall quality of life in Wayne County.
We do too.
So, okay, thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's been our pleasure.
Thank you. Really enjoyed it.
Well, good.
Great
Thank you.
guide.
Well,
Great tour guide.
my faculty always says I should have a backup job, so at least I know this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Thank you, John. Nice to meet you. Yes, sir. Thank you for you. Okay, thank you.
Welcome back to Wayne Goldsboro Television. We hope you're learning about what's happening in your community.
You know, the day that I went out to Mount Olive College and took that tour with Dr. Kerstetter
Yes.
and with Dr. Blackwell and with Ray McDonald and with Tom Brown, with Charles Brown.
Yes.
So who's Tom Brown? But with Charles Brown, it was just a glorious day. I mean, the weather was perfect. It was great. Commissioners really enjoyed it
I'm
as well.
sure.
They
I'm
had
sure.
a great time.
Well, it's a beautiful college, and it has grown tremendously over the years and continues to do so.
I know the campus is beautiful.
Isn't it? And with their new nursing program they're going to be implementing soon, hold on tight because it will grow.
By the way, campus is a Latin word. You know that.
Another Latin word.
Okay, but anyway, they have grown tremendously. I remember I've been in Wayne County about 26 or 7 years, and I remember Mount Olive College. But then over the last 26 or 7 years, it has just mushroomed. It has grown so much. The facilities are beautiful. The campus is gorgeous. And we have a lot to be proud of there.
We do. My husband graduated from there back in the late 80s.
Right.
And I tell you, since then, if you compare the two, like two totally different worlds.
All right, now wait a minute.
It is amazing.
Now, Michael is a pianist. He's
an organist, pianist.
He's very accomplished. Did he get any training at Mount Olive
Oh,
College?
yes. Oh, yes. His minor.
Really?
You know, you have your major and your minor.
Yeah.
His minor was in piano and organ, just music in general.
Wow.
But he has been playing since he was 4.
And he's extremely talented.
We have a lot of family that teaches at Mount Olive College and is involved, so we've watched it grow and been very involved through the years and very, very proud.
There you go.
Very proud.
You go. All
well,
right.
if you're interested in sundials, Wayne, we can
am.
make super sundials at the Cliffs of the Noose. You ask, what is a super sundial?
What is a super sundial?
Well, on Saturday, March the 9th at 10 o'clock a.m., you can learn the history of daylight savings time. You can make a sundial and test it outdoors in the sunshine. Everybody's going to meet in the visitors classroom. It's a visitor center. And if you have questions, you can call 778-6234 and find out more information about super sundials and other things that will be happening at the Cliffs of the Noose right here in Wayne County. I almost said Wayne Community. It's not at Wayne Community, but it is in Wayne County.
Right, but now, you know, and you made a point here. You mentioned that about the daylight saving time.
That's
that
coming
is
up.
This Sunday, by the way, this weekend.
That's right.
You need to move your clocks ahead. You spring forward 1 hour as you go to bed or in the middle of the night, either way.
You don't have to do it at 2 o'clock in the morning like Wayne does. You can do it before you go to bed. It's perfectly okay.
I guess it's okay.
It's fine.
But you're not supposed to.
Legend
Okay,
says you're supposed to get up at 2 a.m. and change your clocks.
That's
But you don't have to.
That's right. By the way, and the fact about time, people don't think about time.
Yes.
And how it's evolved into what it is now. And you know, there are 24 time zones around the world. Think about that. It makes sense. 24 time zones. And that came about, time zones came about here in the U.S. mainly for the railroad.
Mainly for the railroad. Why is that?
Well, back in the 1800s, they decided that you know, they needed a little better way to schedule, to plan ahead, so that. But the railroad going across the country, you know, it would be sun up and sundown, and sun up and sundown,
Right,
sun up
true.
and sundown. So they devised a way to keep better track. No pun intended.
Interesting.
Yeah, for railroads.
Once
Time
again,
zones.
information. Just a wealth of information you are, Wayne.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well,
Anyway,
well, Wayne, if you'd like to fly a kite, I'm offering you another opportunity to do so.
she's telling me to go fly a kite.
Saturday, March the 9th, this weekend at 1 o'clock p.m. at Charles B. Aycock Birthplace. We're hosting a kite flying day, Charles B. Aycock Birthplace. If you have questions about this particular event, you can call 242-5581. Kite flying day at Charles B. Aycock Birthplace this Saturday.
That's a lot of fun. I
Yes, it
love
is.
kite flying.
What else is happening?
Do we do this again?
You certainly can.
can
Would you
finish.
like to tell us the names of maybe a couple more?
Well, I would love to, but I don't know
But you
where
don't
page
have 'em?
2 is.
Oh, well, maybe not. Maybe we won't do
How
that.
about if I make something up?
Well, that's
Eat
scary.
Rocks. Rocks are good for you.
No, let's don't go there.
No, okay.
We'll move
all right,
on.
I'll make something else up later on. All right.
Well, this
Don't-
weekend also is Cinderella the Ballet. Don't forget. You
Yeah.
don't want to miss it. They do a great job at the Goldsboro Ballet. She's done a great job for years, Miss Peggy Wingate. And she'll be showcasing her Cinderella the Ballet this weekend at the Paramount Theater. And if you don't have tickets and would like to get some, you can call the Paramount at 583-8432, or you can call Miss Peggy Wingate. You can also get tickets online at GoldsboroParamount.com or in person at the box office at the Paramount Theater. But don't miss the opportunity to see Cinderella the Ballet this weekend.
Also this weekend, it's a busy weekend.
Isn't it though?
at
Spring
the-
always is.
It is, isn't it? You know, and there's going to be festivals coming up.
Oh,
There's going to be all kinds
yes.
of springtime things going on.
It's a fun time of year.
This weekend at the Wayne County Public Library, there's a program called Discover Tech. Engineers Make a World of Difference, it's called. It's a traveling exhibition for libraries and part of the STAR Library Education Network led by the Space Science Institute's National Center for Interactive Learning. Exhibit partners include the Lunar and Planetary Institute. It includes the National Girls Collaborative Project, and it includes the American Library Association. Discover Tech is supported through a grant from the National Science Foundation. There's a lot of hands-on activities. So if you're curious about science and what makes things go and make things work,
That's definitely the event to be at.
Definitely the event to be at right here.
That's right.
Unless you're interested in sundials.
Well, you have
that's gonna-
sundials, you have kite flying, and you have tech.
That's right. That's
There
right.
you go. Lots
Anyway,
of
that's
things
at
to
the-
choose from.
That's at the library this weekend, this Saturday. That's going to be a lot of fun too.
Oh, don't forget, coming up soon, it won't be long now, the 2013 Shad Tournament is taking place.
Whoa.
That's right. Parks and Recreation and Easy Bait and Tackle have teamed up together to offer a big shad tournament. Lots and lots of prizes, cash prizes and gifts. $10 is the entry fee per angler. And my goodness, they have a long list. They have a youth group, then they also have an adult category. Look at that. First place, heaviest creel.
Heaviest creel. 10 fish limit.
Yeah, first place,
Okay.
second place, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, the first place, heaviest creel, 10 fish limit. Second place is the largest American white shad. Third place is the largest hickory shad. Fourth place is smallest shad for ages 12 and under. Then they have all kinds of prizes throughout the day. But I'll tell
They
you,
certainly
this
do.
is a great event. And I saw the list of sponsors.
I did too. It is amazing how many people right here in our community
I know.
have teamed up with them and have done this for years,
For
8,
years.
9 years,
Yeah, I know.
to support this shad tournament.
And Gary Bevel and Easy Bait and Tackle kind of started this thing, got it rolling here several years ago.
That's right. Quite a few,
And
actually.
and teamed up with the Parks and Recreation Department of Goldsboro and Wayne County. But the list of people involved with this, local businesses, and those are the people you need to be supporting about this thing right here, because this is a great event for all folks, including all the youngsters as well.
That's right. Want to thank you for sponsoring the shad tournament if you're a part of that.
That's
right here in Goldsboro.
Well, who's next?
I believe we are wrapped up for the day. It is time.
it?
It's it. It's
Well-
time to head out.
Well, what about today's trivia question?
Oh, have you not given us one?
I have not given you the answer.
Well, how about doing that?
The question was, what book, what movie, and what Broadway play found its name,
Yes.
was inspired by its name from a filing cabinet?
I can't wait to
Well,
hear.
when L. Frank Baum was sitting at his desk one day and he turned around and he looked at his filing cabinet, he saw A through N and O through Z. O-Z. The Wizard
Oz.
of Oz.
How about that?
That's where he got the name.
Never knew the
Oz.
name Oz came from a filing cabinet.
That's where it came from.
Once again, we're amazed by the trivia.
Wow.
Thank you so much for being with us. We hope you've learned what's happening right here in Goldsboro and Wayne County. We'll be here again tomorrow. The show will be on at 7 a.m. again at noon.
Noon, yeah. Again at noon, and then again at 5:30, and then again some other time during the evening hours. So you can also join us online by going to waynegov.com and clicking on the YouTube channel link.
That's right, or goldsboronc.gov, and you can click on YouTube or WGTV. Thank you for being with us.
Until tomorrow, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best, and this is what's happening in your community.